Hi, right, we're just going to revise a little bit of the grid method. So we've got easier one over here and a little bit of a harder one over here. Okay, now it's always useful, this is always useful whenever you have a problem that might need you to multiply. Okay, and I'd like to see lots of people using this method when you're applying it to some of those tricky problems, the word problems that we had maybe the other day. Okay, well, let's have a look at it. We've got 25 times 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to set out our grid. I'm going to put the times there so we know it. And I'm going to have two columns there, or two spaces, because I've got a 2-digit number. And I've got maybe the bottom bit there, so I can fit in the single digit. Okay, now I'm going to partition 25 into a 20 and a 5, and then I'm going to take the unit, I'm going to put it down there. Okay, right, the next bit, I need to fill in this space and this space. And to do that, I'm going to go 3 times 20. Now you could, if you did know how to do 3 times 20, you could just do that. Or you could just do 3 times 2, which is 6, and add the 0 because it's actually a 10, isn't it? Okay, then we're going to do 3 times 5, which is 15, and that's it. I've done my grid, but the next thing I need to do is I need to add them up. And I know lots of you like to do this mentally, and that's great, but just be careful, because often we can make some silly mistakes if we do it mentally. And that gives me the answer 75. Okay, if I did my column. Okay, right, over here we've got a harder one. We've got 25 times 35. Well, this time I'm going to have to add another bottom to my grid. So I'm going to have to draw my grid out and have 2 spaces here, but also I'm going to have 2 spaces there. I'm going to partition my 25 just like I did at the top. But then I'm going to partition my 35, which is going to be a 30 and a 5 down here. Now this time I've got 4 spaces I need to fill in, because there's going to be 4 parts to the problem. So I've got 30 times 20. Now it's too hard for me to do in my brain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 3 times 2 is 6. But we're dealing with tens, aren't we? So I've got 2 zeros that I need to add there. It's just a quick way of doing it. I've got 30 times 5. Well, 3 times 5 is 15, but we're dealing with tens, so I'm going to add that 0 onto there. So I've got 600 and I've got 150. Then I'm going to do 5 times 2, which is 10, and I'm going to add my 0, just like I did before. Okay, and then I'm going to do 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a column, just so that I'm sure that I've got this right. I'm going to have to do it in the space over here. In fact, let me just get rid of grid multiplication. And I'm going to do 600. I'm going to do 150. I'm going to do 100. And I'm going to do 25. And I'm going to make it into a column. Okay. So I'm going to work my way down. 0, add 0, add 0, add 5. It's going to leave me with 5. 0, add 5, add 0, add 2. It's going to leave me with, but remember these are tens, aren't they? So actually it's 0, add 50, add 0, add 20 is 70. And then I've got the hundreds. 600, add 100, add another 100 is going to leave me with 875. Okay, and that is the grid method.